You how I like to make a fondant unicorn horn. I like to start off by putting CMC or tie loose powder into the fondant and roll it out really good. Then I like to get 2 pieces, roll them into long log shapes. On one side it's going to be thinner and skinnier, and on the other side thicker. Then I like to take a small brush and dip it in water and just run it through the middle of the 2 pieces. Not dripping wet, just a little bit so it'll stick together. So what I like to do is start twisting on both ends and in the middle very gently to get them somewhat placed first. And then once I see that it's even throughout, then I can start twisting the thicker side until they all kind of come together. And what you want to make sure of is that it has a spiral to it, because sometimes if you start going for it too much, it will become where it looks like they're just stacked, or it will have like the thinner side will become too skinny and it just won't work right. Then what I like to do is get my fondant tool and cut off just the very tip of the point so it's really sharp. Now I'm just twisting the thicker side to make sure it's really snug in place and attached with the water. And then I take my fondant tool to cut it into a flat edge. Right now I'm just making sure that there's no cracks or fingerprints or that I messed it up in any way. And now I'm just grabbing my skewer and I place the sharp end going into the fondant while holding onto the fondant so that it kind of presses against it. And be careful to make sure that you're twisting slowly as you're pushing, and that way it doesn't pop out the side or anything like that. Once the skewer is set, just straighten everything out and double check that everything looks like it should. And you'll just leave it out in the room temperature to set up, and depending on how humid it is where you are is how long it should take. For me, it only took a couple hours. And then once it's set up, I just like to use some gold spray, the edible spray, for kind of the base of it. And I give it a light spray and make sure to turn it around, get both sides and everything. Now, of course, this next step is not necessary, but I like to do it, so I'll share with you anyways. I like to get some either lemon extract or high percentage alcohol and mix it with the edible glitter or luster dust, and I like to paint it on to give it that extra shine. One last tip I'd like to mention is before you begin doing this, make sure that you make the horn pretty large in comparison to whatever size cake you're putting it on, for that wow factor. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.